Welcome to the first thrifting video of the year. This is also gonna be a very special donation video because between the Christmas thrifting episode and this one, it's been several months and I received two massive donations. One of them being from my buddy Randolph, who is gonna show up a bit later on in the year on the channel, and another one from the same very gracious Danish donor who gave me the 10 kilos of video games last year. But let's start with what Randolph gave me, because this is the big super special one. He donated a PS2 Slim, and this is something I've never had. Me and console gaming never really a thing, except for the NES. That's a separate thing. There's a fair bit of PlayStation games, PlayStation 1 and 2 games that I would like to play, and thankfully he could basically just donate a PS2 Slim. He said it works. I have not had the opportunity to test it yet because, well, I don't have one single television in my house at the moment, and I need some different cable adapters to connect it either to DVI or HDMI. But this isn't the only donation, because he's like, I can just give you the console, man. You're gonna need some games with it. So he also donated a bunch of his double or triple copies of games, most of which I know nothing about. So, as opposed to all of the other episodes up until now, I'll start with my budding, basically, PS and PS2 game collection. So let's see what Randolph gave me. This is the Simpsons Hit and Run. And again, since I have no fucking clue what these are about, more or less all of them are new to me as far as content is concerned. So I imagine this is some sort of, from the image, I don't know, does it imply driving? It might imply driving, I believe. The disc is in, that's nice. Ooh, and manual, very nice. I'm gonna enjoy possibly reading the manual. I started my physical PC game collection in 2020, what was it, 2022? And apparently PS2 collection 2023. We'll see what the next year has to offer. Even I know this one, but I know of this one because it's also on PC, Max Payne. Haven't played it on PC either. Not generally the type of game I associate with. The disc is in, and also manual as well. Yay. You know what this means? This allows me to now do, well, not now, but if I ever do get to review or do a deep dive into Max Payne, I can now do comparisons between the PC version and the PS2 version. So that's an extra wrinkle to this. Oh, and talk about games on the PC that I'll definitely want to cover soon. Grand Theft Auto Vice City, which might be my favorite GTA. Granted, I stopped playing, oh man, this one doesn't have a manual, boo. Granted, I stopped playing after San Andreas. I enjoyed San Andreas as well, but Vice City has a very special place, as far as I'm concerned, in my heart and mind. But wait, this is like, it says the box is platinum, and he also gave me a non-platinum one, and this one is a bit heavier. Does this one have the manual? Yes, this one has a manual. Looking forward to also the lady on the disc. Cool. Oh, it's nice. It's a nice color manual. Generally for my PC games, since they're mostly reissues and shit, they're black and white, which makes sense. But if and when I get, well, I've been planning to, truth be told, I've been planning to cover Vice City for like 2 or 3 years. Haven't gotten around to it because, you know, as you may know, my channel focus has kind of changed in the meanwhile, although Vice City should fall into it. Vice City should work well into my older, like late 90s, 2000s, which is kind of the era I've sort of started converging into, with the exceptions of some of the new stuff I'm playing. So maybe it does make sense, but now it's just that much more to play because I'm gonna need to play it on the PS as well. But we'll see. All I need is time and health. And since I was talking about it, he also gave me GTA San Andreas. Nice. With the manual. Dope-tastic. One of my favorite things to do in San Andreas was to get a motorbike and just ride around San Andreas. I don't know what that says about me. Anyway, so this is Hitman 2 Silent Assassin. Never played any of the Hitman games. I can't really tell you why. Maybe just because I wasn't really sold on them. What they are didn't really speak to me, although I imagine they are basically stealth-based puzzle games, which I have an issue with puzzle games, but I do enjoy stealth and survival. So maybe I need to reconsider checking out the Hitman games. And when I do, I have them on the PS2 as well. Ooh, wow, haven't seen this in I remember the last time I saw this, I was in high school. It was 2004. Hulk. Mind you, not the Hulk, just Hulk. Now, I remember this on the PC, and I also remember it not being the best received game at the time. Ooh, manual. So weird. It says it has Universal Interactive and Marvel on it, but it's so weird. Although actually Universal still owns Hulk, because that's why there's no standalone Hulk movie in the MCU, because Universal still owns him. Interesting. Maybe my first comparison should be the Hulk, Hulk, PC and PlayStation 2. I doubt anyone will watch that one though. Oh my god, Randolph. What the fuck? You should have known better than to give me fucking football games. But they are slightly more acceptable to play, I think, maybe on the console, or at least with a controller. Has a manual, that says anything. Also, it's a FIFA game. Like, all of these fucking things aren't these all the same? Like, between from what I know, they have like segments, like intervals. So between X year and X plus 1, 2, or 3 years, they're basically the same, just, you know, slight tweaks here and there. I'm definitely not collecting any of the fucking FIFA games. Although I did play one football game on a console with a friend once, and I think it was called Winning 11. I think that's what the game was called. So maybe I'll want that one just because whatever. Oh shit, you also gave me a PS3 game. So thanks. It's still a FIFA game. I'm not happy about that, but does this mean I'm gonna have to acquire a PS3 now as well? Not for fucking FIFA, that's for sure. But hey, apparently I've already started the physical PS3 collection now as well. Thanks, Randolph, with fucking FIFA 10. Wow. It's like the worst beginning to something ever. This is Pixar's Cars, although it's in Danish, apparently. Well, the title is in Danish. I don't know the rest of the game. The manual is in Danish. Granted, I'm not planning on playing fucking Cars anyway, but thanks. Oh shit, talking about car games. This is also Gran Turismo 4. And this is something I know about this series. I know this series has been like the sort of landmark PlayStation driving series ever since the PS1, more or less. I may be wrong about that, but I think what I've read about it kind of points towards that. Has the manual, platinum. This one I might actually try just because, you know, I know, or I'm at least somewhat aware of it. Madagascar. It's a goofy child game, I imagine. But hey, I got Madagascar in Danish. Well, maybe not in. Well, it is. Though the manual is in Danish and Norwegian. That's why Madagascar is with a K. And the last PS2 game is something called Ratchet Gladiator, which I imagine, from my very little knowledge of console games, has to be related to the Ratchet and Clank series, I guess. Again, I know nothing about it. I just know the title. It says with NetPlay. Well, I'll look it up for sure. That's about it for the PS2 collection that has just started. You're seeing something as it starts to become a thing. And he also gave me some PC games that he doesn't need. And we start with the Settlers Heritage of Kings Gold Edition, which I believe contains, it says double pack, includes the expansion disc. So this is the entire thing. We have the disc, No manual, just a weird fucking the register now shit and the key. But unlikely that I'll ever actually use these. But I am collecting the Settler series, and we'll talk about this after we go through all the discs. At a certain point, we'll have to go through all of them. Now this, none other than Diablo. Now, the case has seen better days. It's in the bestseller series, which has this nice like golden brown sort of frame, which is cool. We have, oh shit, nice. The disc looks nice and the manual looks really cool as well. Considering the amount of Diablo 1 and 2 I've played, I've never actually had physical Diablo 1. Well, I've never actually had physical Diablo 2 either, but Diablo 1 is a bit more important than that, to be honest, just by the sheer nature of its importance and age. Wonderful to have. Now I need Hellfire. And talking about the Diablo 2, also the expansion set, yes. The Lord of Destruction, this case looks a bit better. Oh, and manual. Great, very pretty indeed. And I do have Diablo 2. I should have Diablo 2. I'm pretty sure this one's a done deal by now. Ooh, Dragon Age Origins, the vanilla version. And I say the vanilla version with manual because I think I have it. I think one of the first things I bought was with the Awakening on it. So now I have the vanilla version as well. This is the only Dragon Age title I played, and I gotta say I remember quite enjoying it, even though it's fairly somewhat limited in terms of, you know, a lot of role-playing features. What it did bring to the table was the relationships. Oh yes, Dawn of War, Soulstorm. And I think this is the last expansion I needed for the first Dawn of War. I'm not sure, I'm gonna have to check. Oh, well, close, but no cigar. I have the manual at least, so that's nice, but I'm missing the disc, Randolph, what the fuck. But still, manual is pretty cool to have. I think it's much more likely for me to find the disc than the manual going forward. Again, I'm pretty sure I have the entire collection of Dawn of War, but I also want the things individually. I also want the expansions separately, so this is gonna go a long way towards creating that series. Now this is a game you'd think I had played, but I never really played until I started playing it a couple of years ago. And then I stopped because I realized I need to give it my full attention, and back then I just couldn't, and I still can't, but I plan to. It's none other than Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. And I say that because this is definitely the type of RPG experience I'm into. Ooh, that's a very thick manual. Disc 2 of 3, are there 3 of them? Yes, there are 3 of them, nice. Has a very thick manual. I'm really curious to see what the manual has to say. I played a fair bit of it. Well, okay, I don't think that's correct to say. I played a bit. I think I played through the first 2 areas, let's say, with, in case you wanna know, I think the clan is Tremere. I think that's the clan. The magic vampires. I think that's their main trait. They cast spells. Also, apparently this is uncut. I don't know what that means. What I do know is that the GOG version comes with the fan patches, and holy shit, do you need those fan patches. What do we have here? Oh, we have an Age of Empires Gold Edition. Do we have the disc? We do have the disc, no manual though. I think I already have these maybe, but this is, I mean, it's Age of Empires. It's Age of Empires 1. It says includes both Age of Empires and the Rise of Rome expansion. It's Age of Empires. I mean, at a certain point, I'll have to do a video on the first Age of Empires, because this is right there in importance for me and for gaming in general. Even though I decided at a certain point during the late 90s, I decided that StarCraft was the RTS for me. I also played a fair bit of Age of Empires, and it's a series that has been very important, at least during the years I'm now focusing on. Oh, and talk about that, Age of Empires 2 Gold Edition, which also contains Age of Kings and the expansion. I think I already have, with bonus maps, plus learn from the masters with recorded games. Oh my. I think I already have these actually from a past donation, but hey, I don't mind it. No manual, unfortunately. Thing is, when with some of the doubles I will undoubtedly gather over time, is I can then gift those to friends my age. Again, not for them to actually use, but just for them to have. Because much like me, most of my friends from the era, none of us had the original games. Again, mostly because of a lack of finances, but at the same time because of a lack of availability. The things I've gone up until, so the PS2, the games and the PC games, all donated by my buddy Ranlov, whom you will actually see in a future thrifting video. So make sure to stick around for that one.